Tony Travel said, who came up with the idea that we need to breathe life into these Black men? I'm sure Black men did, and they instilled it in Black women, and Black women passed it down to their daughters. But I wanted to go over something specific, more about these lies. There's a video that came up from George C. Frazier, where he talks about the crisis in the Black community, right? And then I want to show y'all some other stuff. We gonna go over that crisis in the Black community. We gonna go over that, and we gonna see how accurate it is. I'm just gonna tell y'all the root cause of the issues in the Black community. It's not racism. It's the unwillingness to tell the truth. And let's get into this.
The biggest challenges Black people have for the next 100 years. The number one challenge is the existential crisis of the Black family. The existential crisis of the Black family. Marriage in our culture is down to 34%. When we were growing up, it was 85%. It's now down to 34%. 71% of our sisters are not married, 29% will never get married, 63% of our brothers are not married, 30% of them will never get married. It is not a culture in the history of humankind that is resolute to maximize their full human potentials about family at the center of their culture. This already exists. This is an interesting but negative suggestion. This phenomenon of the existential crisis of our family.
He ignores the most important piece of that issue. Nope, Donna Dash, that's not it. You said what, Black women choose the system over Black men? No, I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute. He mentioned we have this marriage crisis, it's destroying the Black family. He made no mention of why. He didn't tell you why the marriage rates are down. He didn't tell you why the marriage rates were down. He didn't tell you what these other groups of men were doing differently to cause their marriage rates to be higher. So he completely ignored the role of men. He completely ignored why people ain't get married. He ignored the fact that even if you marry a broke person, you're just going to be married and broke. You can't get wealth out of just being married. You have to marry someone wealthy. In order to build wealth, there has to be some money there. If you marrying a broke, dusty bandit who looking for a woman to take care of you, are you building wealth? He completely ignored everything that has to do with the men. Everything that has to do with the men. Completely ignored it. Completely ignored the fact that the men need to actually have money in order for wealth to be built. How does two broke people, one of them being severely under or uneducated with no life skills and qualifications, how are they going to build wealth? How is an uneducated man going to build wealth? How is an unqualified male going to build wealth? Black men are not going to school to educate themselves. They're not getting a trade or a certificate. They don't value education at all. They want the woman to be as uneducated as them. So how do you address this issue while ignoring the men? How do you you can't fix this problem. You can't fix this problem if you're not going to acknowledge that men are the problem. You literally can't fix this problem. All he told you is that there is a problem. He did nothing more, nothing less. But look, his name is Doctor. He's a doctor. What if you went to a physician, your primary care physician, and all they told you is, well, you have cancer. And that's all they ended at. Oh, well, you have cancer. This is the equivalent of you going into a doctor's office and they said you have cancer and that's it. And then said white people got this rate of cancer, Asians got a lower one, Hispanics got a lower one, but you have stage 4 cancer. And then completely left it there. Gave you no other detail as to what caused the cancer, how do I treat the cancer. This is the equivalent of a doctor literally just saying, hey, you have stage 4 cancer and it's less prevalent in these other groups. Exactly. Lala said you need to discuss the type of cancer, what caused the cancer, and possible remedies for the cancer, as well as the expense of those remedies. Because to fix the crisis in the Black community, it's going to cost something. It's gonna cost sacrifices on Black men's behalf. Are black men willing to pay the price of fixing the crisis in the black community? No, they're not. No, they're not. That's why everybody will sit here and tell you what the problem is, but they're not going to tell you the root cause of the problem. Meanwhile, let's look at this clip while he's talking about how back in the day there used to be marriage. Because back in the day, he said that marriage rates used to be high. Let's look at what was actually when black women were married.
In fact, the black woman has been a woman at the head of a home, not by choice, but by necessity. And that's right. And she is not a strong, matriarchal, aggressive, domineering figure. She is a woman in search of a man. But this story has not been told. The prejudice society created what we have now. So that's what we were. Okay, we have a revolution going on. The revolution. What's the revolution? This is the word revolution around lightly. Everybody, thou Lord. Inform the work of our black poet and for her, black awareness is not revolutionary, but the very foundation of her marriage. Val's husband, Francis Ward, talks of the struggles of the black family in the past and the obstacles that lie ahead.
It's extremely important for black history and culture to be transmitted from generation to generation. And the best way, most effective way that this has always been done is through the family acting as the unit of social organization. I think one reason why it has not been done with black people is because of the destruction done to our family life. So this simply has to be one function of the black marriage to begin to re-emphasize and to pick up the thread of Afro-American history and culture that has been left off generations ago when Africans were sold into slavery, when the family unit was purposely destroyed. Part of the obligation of being black is to make absolutely certain that whoever has any kind of control of jurisdiction over your kid, is not bringing him into conflict with the kinds of things we teach. We try to instill in them here in the home.
Most middle class homes, get caught up in that. You go into or have some copy of.
Think you know Black history? Think again. Unlock the untold story.
I hope y'all hearing that video there. Because this man here, George, it looks like his name is, George Fraser told you that the crisis in the black community is a lack of marriage. But then we flipped to the clip about black marriages, and the women were the head of the households. So how are you building wealth between a bandit who is married, but he has absolutely nothing to offer? Mind you, it is the high rate of black marriages that ushered in generational poverty. You're in the post-high marriage black community. That's what you're in. Black people will tell you, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, we had the highest marriage rate. You are in the generational effects of black marriages. Did it pass down generational wealth? No. Did it pass down functional families? No. My parents were married. Over 30 years, my parents were married. So we are literally living in the wake of black people having the highest marriage rate, but none of what they said was going to happen as a result of marriage. None of it has materialized. None of it has materialized. None at all. There's nothing. Functional families didn't materialize. Generational wealth has not materialized. But black women and black men were married. Look, this woman said, I also saw a video that brought to light that while on the plantation, black men were required to just make babies, not be married, and not have families. So that affects thought and intent when it comes to the family unit, but this leads to this discussion. So she's trying to say black men don't want to get married and they don't value family because on the plantation all they had to do was make babies. That's not true. Yep, we have the highest marriage rate, the most dysfunction, and the most poverty. If black women have been a woman at the head of the household, not by choice, but by necessity, then marriage is not the issue here. Marriage is not the problem here. We were married. Black men didn't have no money. So no wealth was getting built. There was no generational wealth getting built because black men generationally had no money. Black women have been providing for black men. We have seen zero videos from the past that talks about black men providing for black women. The only thing we found is black men weren't providing. Yep, there's no slavery now. Black men have a choice to marry who they want to. They're not getting married. So it doesn't matter if you have George C. Frazier over here saying, well, we have a crisis in the black community and I think marriage is it. No. Go back to the time when we were married in the highest numbers and look at the black community there, because ain't nothing really changed. Yep, all that's drug dealing and pimping black women and they still broke. They were pimping you for a good generation. Ask them what did they do with the money from pimping black women. Black men went to selling black women into slavery to pimping them to white men. And they still have nothing to show for it. Yeah, Timmy, marriage ain't changed nothing for the black community. It can't. Because people keep trying to blame the system, which is what this Dusty was doing in his video. Let's listen to this bandit sit up here and blame the system, because this is the old video. This video looked to be around the 70s or 80s. And there's a bandit in here blaming the system. Let's listen to it again.
In fact, the black woman has been a woman at the head of a household, not by choice, but by necessity. And more often, that's right, and more often than not, she is not a strong, matriarchal, aggressive, domineering figure. She is a woman in search of a man. But this story has not been told. The prejudiced society is what we have now. So that's what we were. Okay, we have a revolution going on. And about a revolution. The revolution is revolution around life there.
And notice how these were a bunch of married black women, natural hair, no makeup on. They really do seem like submissive performers. So what was the issue here? What was the issue here? These were married black women. They didn't get a provider. They were still forced into the masculine role, but they were married. They weren't wearing makeup, as you can see. They all got their natural hair, as you can see. Let's continue.
Like the actress Val Ward performed the works of our Black poets and dramatists. For her, Black awareness is not revolutionary, but the very foundation of her marriage. Val's husband, Francis Ward, talks of the struggles of the Black family in the past and the obstacles that lie ahead.
It's extremely important for Black history and culture to be transmitted from generation to generation. And the best way, the most effective way that this has always been done is through the family, acting as the primary unit of social organization. And I think one reason why it has not been done with Black people is because of the destruction done to our family life. So this certainly has to be one function of the Black marriage, to begin to re-emphasize and to pick up the thread of Afro-American history and culture that has been left off generations ago when Africans were sold into slavery, when the family unit was purposely destroyed. Part of the obligation of being Black is to make absolutely certain that whoever has any kind of control or jurisdiction over your kid, is not bringing him into conflict with the kinds of things we teach. We try to instill in them here in the home.
Most middle class homes, quote middle class homes, I know you get caught up in this, but you go into will have some copy of.
If you know Black history,
I need to find this whole video. I need to find that whole video because That's a married black woman in there dealing with her husband. Only tell her that how long are y'all gonna blame this system before you do something about it? That was her husband. Her husband sitting up there making excuses as to why. Y'all want to see more stuff? Let's look at this. Here is more issues. This says 1978. I want y'all to see how long black men been broke, lazy, sitting around wallowing, singing the same damn defeated, the same. Look at this. The mother and the children are better off if the husband isn't working or if the husband isn't there. If this is even true, you got bigger issues than marriage. If black women are better off if the husband isn't working or if he isn't there, keyword husband. Husband. Yet another thing implying that even when black women were married, their husbands were broke. Black women have always been marrying broke black men, always. This is a video from 1978. It says the mother and the children are better off if the husband isn't working or if the husband isn't there. This right here is telling you marriage is not the issue. They were married, they were broke, living in dust, the bandit couldn't provide. They're talking about a systemic issue that they believe was taking place that black men have not addressed. They did go to the Supreme Court, though. They went to the Supreme Court to address something. Mind you, this is in 1978, so these are complaints after black men had already went. Literally, this is after black men have already went to the Supreme Court to fight to have access to white women. So why are you sitting up in 1978 complaining about welfare and the fact that you can't provide for your family, but you had your dumbass in the Supreme Court in the 1960s fighting to have access to white women? Why didn't black men go to the Supreme Court to remedy this situation? They went to it to get access to white women, so clearly they're not that scared of the system. Why didn't they go to the Supreme Court to remedy this issue here? Why didn't black men go to the Supreme Court about this issue like they get access to white women? I really just only want to know that. Because these bandits have no problem going to the Supreme Court. They don't have a problem doing it. They did it. Black men don't got no problem petitioning the Supreme Court and fighting the system. This was over 10 years. This was like 10 years after they had already went to the Supreme Court. This is 10 years post Loving versus Virginia. And we know black men all up until 1965, before Loving versus Virginia, they had their goofy asses in that Supreme Court begging for access to white women. So if this was a problem, why didn't they go to the Supreme Court about this? That's just what I want to know. But here, let's listen to this video and see them yet again when they were married complaining about being broke. Clearly, marriage is not the issue.
A lot of people are capable of working and are willing to work, but it's just the way it's set up. So the mother and the children are better off if the husband isn't working or if the husband isn't there. And this breaks up so many poor families.
100%.
What they weren't going to say is that the mother was better off if he's working or if he's not working or not there, because he can't provide. He cannot provide and never could. Black men being broke is something that we still dealing with. They always got this sad ass sob story about why they can't get no money. They saying the same thing in 2025. This is 1978. Why are black women still doing this with black men? They were broke in the 1970s. They still broke in 2025 using the same excuses, although the policies don't even exist anymore. These bandits ain't never been able to provide, so I don't give a damn about Dr. George Frazier sitting up here talking about there's a marriage crisis. Marrying a broke bandit only makes you broke in marriage.
Is that many of the children whose parents are on welfare will in their turn end up in the welfare trap when they grow up. In this public housing project in the Bronx, New York, 3/4 of the families are now receiving welfare payments.
3/4 of the families, meaning nearly 70%. 3/4 of the families were on. Well, how was Black men provided? Most of these women were married, I can tell you that. The Moynihan report surely did co-sign that most of these women on welfare were married. The men weren't getting no money though. When you have 3/4 of all of the families on welfare, that means this goddamn bandit can't provide. That means most Black men couldn't provide and they were okay with not providing. They never went to the Supreme Court so that they could release some of these systemic issues so that they can provide. They never did that, ever. They never fought anything so they can provide. They just told you, we can't provide, and Black women said, okay, we'll struggle. Nancy at Night, Black women need to stop dating based on Blackness. Black women aren't dating based on attraction, they're dating based on skin tone. Black women are marrying these bandits because they are Black. No other reason than them being Black. Black women are very much dating based on race. But you ain't gonna tell me that 3/4 of the Black families were on welfare and then you gonna just sit here and say the problem is marriage. Mind you, this was during the time we had a very high marriage rate. Very high marriage rate is what we had.
Well, Mr. Brown wanted to keep away from this kind of thing for a very good reason. The people who get on welfare lose their human independence and feeling of dignity.
Tell something. Why do you think during this time there was no interviews with white families and how welfare impacted white families? I want y'all to throw something down in the chat box. Why do you think there's 0 documentaries on welfare having a negative impact on the white communities? The same rules apply. The same rules applied, and we know that they applied because white women were a part of the class action lawsuit that the Black woman filed. Why do you think it is, though, that you see 0 of these documentaries talking about welfare broke down the white family? White people were on welfare the most. It was created for white people. The same rules applied. White women's welfare was getting cut off because they had a man in the home, too. That's the reason why white women were on that class action lawsuit that was King v. Smith. White women were on that. But you see 0 documentaries saying welfare destroyed the white family dynamic. You don't see that. The reason being because, number one, white men would never let welfare destroy their family. And number 2, welfare don't destroy families. It terminates benefits. And when they terminate the benefits, that would then allow Black men to be the provider. The problem Black men had is that they did not want to be the provider. They wanted to benefit from the welfare and not have to provide. I don't know what you mean when you say oppression of the Black families. You have to explain that. You have to explain that. Welfare is the social program with the same rules. It would have the same impact on every family. If welfare was created to destroy families, it would destroy families, be it white, Black, Asian, or otherwise. It would destroy families. They didn't. There was 0 special welfare program that was designed to negatively impact only Black people. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. And when welfare was negatively impacting white families, they joined on a class action lawsuit that was initiated by a black woman, not a black man. Black men did not go to the Supreme Court to remedy this issue. Black women did. Positive Vibe said white men won't let welfare take them out of the home. White men know that welfare doesn't take anyone out of the home because they didn't create it to take nobody out the home. They created it to provide to children whose fathers or parent willingly left the home. This is not to get men out of the home. It wasn't to get men out of the home. It was to compensate for men who were already out of the home. Yeah, exactly, Brooklyn. Welfare is not a black social program. It's a reparation. Welfare isn't reparation. So how did it only take black men out of the home? It didn't, and it couldn't. And if it was taking black men out of the home, then they should have went to the Supreme Court and got back into the home, just like they ran to the Supreme Court to get anti-miscegenation laws overturned. Oppression of black families caused by black men being lazy and making broken homes. Yeah, absolutely. 100%, Jules. But you ain't gonna see what black men don't understand is they're always looking at talking about agendas to divide black men and black women. They don't see this lie that they're perpetuating about welfare. They don't see videos like this as a means of doing that. Lying and saying that welfare removed black men out of the home. If black men were smart, they would adamantly reject that notion. They wouldn't have spread it because they would have knew that that was one lie designed to separate you. Because now black men are running around here trying to tell the world that black women aligned themselves with welfare to take them out of the home. Obviously a very divisive lie that they're just too stupid to gauge. There was no welfare that took you out of the home. That was just another lie that you helped to perpetuate. You helped to perpetuate that was divine to design you because they knew black men were so dumb and weak that all they had to do was tell them, well, your woman took welfare and then your dumb ass was going to do what you been doing. Fall in hook, line, and sinker for it because you fall for the okie doke more than anybody do. Understand there is no group of men on the planet who fall for the okie doke more than black men. Every single okie doke that has been put against them, they fell for it. They fell for it. Black men fall for all of the okie dokes. They never see them coming. Although they do realize somebody always setting a trap for them, they can never see the trap. They can never, ever see the trap.
They become subject to the dictates and whims of their welfare supervisor who can tell them whether they can live here or there, whether they may put in a telephone, what they may do with their lives. They're treated like children, not like responsible adults. And they're trapped in the system. Maybe a joke.
Let's be real. Black men are treated like children because they are children. If you're in a home with a woman and you can't provide for yourself and she has to for you, then you are a child. You are her dependent. You are her dependent. Black men showed that they were boys and they did not want to move out of that energy. So therefore they get controlled by children. Of course, as a male, if you can't even provide for your own family and you need the government to, then you damn sure if I'm providing for your family, I'm gonna give you conditions. Like you don't, of course you don't think that I'm just as the government gonna provide for your children that you helped to create and ain't gonna be no stipulations. You damn right you go follow my stipulations. I'm the breadwinner. I'm providing for you. Didn't black men say that you need to submit to whoever's providing? Okay, government is providing, then you gotta submit to the government. If black men can't provide, then your wife has to then submit to the government because that is who's providing. So when black men fail to fight so that they can provide, they put themselves in a dependent situation. Therefore, they put themselves in a childlike position. It's illogical to think that your government is going to say, okay, I'll provide for your kids, but you don't got to follow no rules. Like, it's not even logical. No.
Comes up that looks better than welfare, but they're afraid to take it because if they lose it after a few months, it may be 6 months or 9 months before they can get back onto welfare. And as a result, this becomes a self-perpetuating cycle rather than simply a temporary state of affairs.
Our digital PD.
There's so much evidence out there of black men's inability to provide. Let's look at this whole channel because of course, black women with children were better off without a man in the home who was using resources but wasn't providing anything. Black men have never been providers, which is why black women were on welfare. Rather than fight for higher wages and better jobs, they fought for access to white women. Black men were never interested in being husbands or fathers, and if they were, black women wouldn't even have qualified for welfare. And look, this bandit gonna say, just read the Moynihan report. It's all there. Let me show y'all the delusion. So I said, I read the Moynihan report and it said, one, the black women who were on welfare were on it because they were abandoned by their black husbands who couldn't provide for them. And two, the Moynihan report clearly stated that the root cause of the issues in the black community is black male antisocial personality. And I agree. It's clear that black men are the biggest problem in the black community, and they always have been. The Moynihan report explains why. Because this bandit gonna say, just read the Moynihan report, it's all there. Ain't y'all happy that we read the Moynihan report? So we know what's there. But look at this bandit. Another bandit is going to say, no, it details how the black woman broke up the family. Prior to all these social services, black men were married at a 90% rate, and they were broke and incapable of providing for their families. That means the change was with the woman, just like the video is telling you. And then she said, no, it doesn't, because it literally doesn't say that. She came on here and said, no, it doesn't. Stop repeating things you heard on Red Pill. Listen, I am so glad we read the Moynihan report, and we encourage other people to read the Moynihan report. Because before we read the Moynihan report, there were 0 black women combating. There was no black women combating it. They are because we read it and we inspired other people to read it. We inspired other black women to read it. We told other black women to read it. And I think, didn't Tanya read it? Didn't Tanya TKO go live and read the Moynihan report too? I know Nyla went live and she read the Moynihan report. So there was a lot of us reading the Moynihan report. That is why women are on here challenging them and saying, no, it don't say that. Because we know what it says now. Look, then he says, bitter black woman talk. Then he says, sounds like you fell for the okie doke. You see what they want you to see. Look what the roots of things. The roots of things is black men. So I said, no, it doesn't. I read the Moynihan report multiple times, and it says nothing of the sort. It actually says black men have always been dependent on black women. Black males have consistently been failures. The Moynihan report clearly highlights how black men have always been the problem, and anybody who says different is definitely suffering from illiteracy issues. It's like the root cause of the issues is black men. It's black men. And now that we done set up here and read the Moynihan report, they ain't gonna try to sit here and use it to manipulate and lie. But look, this thing, no matter how many videos you go through on here, you never go through a video that says black men were ever providing. They just weren't. They don't. And you see a lot of old videos on here This one was on here. This is an old video. We could go over any of these old videos. Ain't none of them gonna say black men were ever providing. Because these bandits weren't providing. They're not providers. And now look at this. Even though all these males want to overlook the problem is the males, and mind you, I'm in here having to argue with bandits too. Look, the black male shortage is the media-driven agenda to keep black men and women separate. Anybody who talks about the reality of black men, it's an agenda. Did y'all notice how everything is an agenda? So the black male shortage ain't because black men are killing black men. It's because the media just want black women and black men separated. Yeah, Brooklyn, we are. We're going to go back on a live stream and talk about the Moynihan report. We are. Because this is retarded at this point. Like, this is completely retarded. We just got this one last thing to go over, and then I'm going to get off so I can take my spiritual bath and then write. But look, notice everything is an agenda. Everything is an agenda. The black man shortage has nothing to do with black men running around killing other black men. It has nothing to do with the real life fact that black men are the leading cause of death for all black males in between the ages of 0 and 40. That's not contributing to the black male shortage. This is a media-driven agenda. Jules, I've been praying for that divide. I've been praying for the best thing. Listen, if the media is trying to get black men and black women separated, this is your God. Because your God don't want you with black men. The only way your God will want you with black men is if your God is an evil male. That's the only way. Started above the Emma report said black women need to separate themselves from bandits and dust. It doesn't benefit black women to continue to want to support them. Yeah, there's something wrong with black women's psychology. It needs to be studied, and we need to figure out a remedy because something ain't right. There are plenty. Look, he can't even spell it. He can't even spell the lie, but is trying to perpetuate the lie. There are plenty of good black men. The term is plenty. Plenty is the term. So let me just go ahead and tell them. Where are these plenty of good men? That's what I'm saying. They listen. They don't got no reading, spelling, or writing skills, but they have audacity, and they can tell you what you're supposed to be doing as a woman. There are plenty of good black men available. Then go date them. We can't get so caught up in the economics that we ignore. Here go money. We can't get caught up in money that we ignore other great. So here goes the promotion. Listen, where there is a man or a woman having an issue with money, knowing that there's a broke black man somewhere. I want y'all to understand. Anytime somebody is talking about a gold digger, anybody talking about welfare, anybody talking about economics and how you shouldn't pay attention to it, there's a broke black man somewhere. There's a broke black man somewhere that somebody is trying to set up a situation to cushion the fact that he broke. Would anybody saying we can't get caught up in economics if black men have money? The only reason they're saying this is because black men have no money, and I'm tired of this sad sob story of a broke bandit. 100 years of brokedom for black men. If they don't got no money, they don't have any good attributes. Broke men do not have great attributes. They don't. They're nasty, they're jealous, they're violent, they're insecure. Nobody should be dealing with a broke man. They're not nice. They're just not. She said, like, what? Seriously, please list what else they have. Exactly. If they ain't got no money, which we know she ain't black, she's likely biracial. That's probably the reason why she's saying, no, if they ain't got no money, they ain't got nothing else. What you mean? What you mean? Go away from me with this, Apollo. And she basically saying, this non-black woman, she's saying, go away from me with that, Apollo. She's saying if he ain't got no money, what do we have? Because there ain't no, she's saying the same thing. Ain't no nice broke men. And there ain't. There's zero nice broke men. They don't exist. I ain't never met one broke man that was nice to a woman who had some money. They don't exist. And that's why she over here on her go away from me with that, Apollo. She says, sir, there is not a lot of data to support this, even when you don't factor in economics. Exactly. Then here he go lying again. Black men provide structure, discipline, stability, leadership, and guidance. They absolutely don't. So I said black men don't and never have provided those things. Listen, you ain't gonna drop this type of lie and think I ain't gonna fly to the comment section to let you know. Absolutely not. Listen, I'm telling y'all, online, where you see a black man claiming that black men were providers, you will have me shutting it immediately down. They were not. They never were. They never were. Black men don't and never have provided those things. Please provide some actual evidence instead of just saying things. It's like the reality is, even if the number of black men was equal to that of black women, which is absolutely not, there are 2 million more black women, black men still wouldn't be good mates for black women. I said you and Umar want black women to choose black men simply because they are black, and I don't support that. Black men are not even mentally well and are completely unstable in every way, and they are, like, literally, black men are unstable in every way, shape, and form possible. They're not stable mentally. They're not stable financially. They're not stable education-wise. They're not stable intellectually. Black men, to be a black man is to be unstable at this point. They're not stable. And anybody who loves you but is telling you to invest in the world's most unstable male group, no, the only thing they can provide you is instability. They are not stable. They're not. Nobody can tell you in which way black men are stable. They're not. That's why I said black men are not mentally well and are completely unstable in nearly every way. And it's really every single way. Black men are unmotivated, weak, non-committal, abusive, and not worth anyone's investment. And they ain't. It might be harsh, but they ain't. And I will stand 10 toes down on this. If years from now people bring this up, I'm going to say, yep, I said it and it's true. It was true then and it's true now, because we already know in the future, black men still going to be unstable. They're still going to be unstable. And no, they're not worth anybody's investment. Black women really need to run away from black men and understand that anyone who suggests that black women date black men, let alone bind herself to him, is no friend of black women. You are on here trying to serve the needs of black men who have always provided absolutely nothing but expect to gain everything. The days of using black women for your survival are over. Y'all are about to see what it really means to have to hold your own nuts. We done. And we need to be. Let them hold their own dusty, crusty, poverty-creating nuts. Let them go bring all their bullshit to Becky, Maria, and Ling Ling's door. That's what, let me see if those raggedy bandits, when I told them, ain't you getting your passport yet, bandit? Because why you here? I'm tired of looking at it. But they out here somewhere, and if they think I'm a coddle their feelings, oh, you out your damn mind. I'm not coddling your feelings. I'm not going to coddle your feelings. It just doesn't matter. And I'll take on a brigade of goof troop ass dusty bitches if I have to. I'm not coddling their feelings either. You can get it too if you a dusty black male worshiper. I got enough to go around. And these black male worshipers, oh, they are getting dragged in 2025. They getting dragged. We ain't gonna act like they don't. Look, sisters, do not listen to this propaganda. They ain't married, exactly. They ain't married where you love and appreciate it. Stop getting with these broke ass, nothing ass bitches who got nothing but instability to provide. They're not stable. And if they loved black women, they would be encouraging black men to get some stability. Become viable. Oh yeah, but they don't got to because they already tricked you into believing you was made from a man. So they eliminated any possibility. And black men are simply riding the wave of the patriarchy that white men created. They didn't want to compete for you. They didn't want to be better for you. So instead they created a religion and said, oh, you were made for us. Now they don't have to compete. They don't have to compete. They don't have to be better. They don't have to do anything because you made for it. You were made to help them. If you believe that you were made to help them, you will give yourself to them willingly and for nothing. And that's what women have done. Give themselves to men. I'm not about to do it, and I think you should stop doing it. You don't belong to men. You were not made for men. You weren't made to serve them. Really, they were made to serve you. Jules said these mammies having these babies in poverty at these country hospitals, having these doctors who, what? I was reading that. Where did it go? Sorry, I missed it. Oh, no, Jules, you were on to something because I been said black women, listen, ain't no reason for having no baby in a hood. I don't care what black women say. There's no excuse. You're having a baby in a hood because the black man that you got the baby with is in a hood. That's why you stand there. You don't care that it's unsafe for your child. You don't care that the whole structure of the hood is a war zone. You don't care about nothing. Completely nutritionally unsafe, economically unsafe, physically unsafe, mentally unsafe. Black women said, I don't care, black men here, I'm raising as many babies as I want to in the hood. No, like, here's the thing. You would think as much as black women run around talking about the dangers of having babies for black women, the maternal mortality rate, you would think black women will be putting major restrictions on having kids. They're not though. They'll have them in the hood. They'll have them in poverty. They'll have them out on the street corner as long as they with a black man. Y'all got me all the way confused if you think that's what I'm doing. Listen, I'm not doing it. No child of mine will do it. No child of mine will do it. Because I'm only going to have a female child. This womb will not produce a male. It just won't. I'm not about to become the portal for a demonic entity just because it's going to bear black skin. That ain't going to happen. I'm having no kid in no hood. I don't care about no hood dick unless it's out of the hood. It can be some ex-hood dick. I'll take some ex-hood dick. But if you still in a hood, your dick is going to stay in a hood. You going to be over there with a hood rat. You ain't getting with me and you live in a hood. I won't do it. I'm not coming to the hood to visit you. I'm not talking to you on the phone and hearing gunshots and police sirens. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I need to be in a suburb where I can take walks when I'm pregnant and I can take my baby on walks. Do you think I'm about to be walking around pregnant in the damn hood? Y'all got me all the way confused. If anybody ever thought I was going to do it, it ain't going to happen. Listen. Now listen, I didn't say hood dick with gross. I just said they got to be out the hood. They got to be out the hood. You got to be ex-hood dick or I ain't dealing with you. If you still got hood ties and I know about it, I'm going to leave you where I found you. Like, listen, I don't want a man that damn bad to where I'm about to go get pregnant by no dude in a hood, and you think I'm about to drive through the bullet flying hood to see him? It ain't happening. It ain't happening. I'm not about to have no baby shower in no projects. And did that no? I'm not gonna be. Well, why am I having a baby in a project? So this man can't even get me out this damn unsafe ass hood. There's hood rats, cause don't be pretty in no hood. Listen, don't be pretty. The only way the hood is gonna be safe for a woman is if every bitch in there is ugly. But if you in a hood and you pretty, oh, you better get out of that hood, and you better get out of it real quickly. Cause your issues ain't gonna be them male bandits, it's gonna be them hood rats. You gonna get, if you pretty, you better not be in a hood. You better not be in a hood if you pretty. Like, we ain't even gonna get to that. We ain't even gonna go get to how the hood will swallow a pretty woman whole. Why do you think that, like, watch Fatal Attraction and see these women on there they look pretty, but they look ran down. You can tell they were pretty, but then you look at them and they just completely ran down. Like Tokyo Toni. Tokyo Toni looks like she spent every single day of her life in the hood, and Black China said, I ain't doing it. I'm going to go over here with this Kardashian male over here, bitch. You got me. Listen, Black China said, I am a Taurus, and listen, we don't get down like this. I will be over here sucking some Kardashian dick before I be stuck in a hood. I said, Angela White, if you don't say that, Angela White said, nope, I'm going to go over here with these Kardashians. I know if I have Rob Kardashian's baby, I ain't in no damn hood. Black China said, money over skin tone. Candy Burress said, money over skin tone. Yeah, no, they start looking like Tokyo Toni. You can tell Tokyo Toni was a beautiful younger woman. You can tell Tokyo Toni was pretty. You can look at Black China to tell what Tokyo Toni looked like. If Black China would have stayed her ass in a hood, she'd be looking like Tokyo Toni right now. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You ain't. Ain't no way. How are you creating life in the hood? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I'm telling you, what black women will tolerate from black men will make your head explode. I don't get it. Yeah, no, Donna Dash Black China said absolutely not. She said, Mama, that might be your story. Mine is going to be over here with the only true heir to the Kardashian, the only real Kardashian. Like, seriously, Black China said, I aspire to something great, because the reality is, in this patriarchal society, the only real Kardashian is Dream Kardashian. She the only Kardashian, and you can best believe the Kardashians hate Black China for that. You can best believe Kim and Khloe and whoever else, that mama, you can best believe that mama wish she could destroy Black China. That mama probably wish she could do so much voodoo and so much magic. Please, that mama probably want to throw all of the magic at Black China, and she must not be able to. Because there are rules to the spiritual realm too. Contrary to what y'all believe, you can't just attack anybody spiritually with spiritual work and not have consequences. You can't just do that. Yeah, they compete with black women, but Black China checkmated them. Black China said, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to throw some of this original woman cooch on Robert Kardashian, and we going to see what I can get out of that. Because Robert Kardashian, word on the street is he chased Black China. Oh, yeah, and you know, of course, Kim is pissed. Kim Kardashian don't have a Kardashian. She has a West. Black China got the Kardashian. And ain't nothing she can do about that girl's name. Ain't nothing. She couldn't make that girl not be able to use her last name if she tried. That is her last name. Her father is Robert Kardashian. Her father had the same name as Kim Kardashian father's. Black China was diabolical. She said, my kid is going to have the same last name and my kid's daddy is going to have the same name, Kim Kardashian, that your daddy got. Black China said, absolutely not. This is why I like Taurus women. I do. I like Taurus women because Black China, she didn't even have to say nothing. She said, you and my daughter is going to share the same daddy's name. Your daddy's name was Robert Kardashian, and my daughter's name, her father, is Robert Kardashian. So, as sure as Kim Kardashian can sit down and say, oh, my father, Robert Kardashian, guess who else could say that? Dream. Dream can sit up and say, oh, my father, Robert Kardashian. Guess who can't say that? Northwest. She can't say that. She can't say that. Guess who can't say that? Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner can't even say Kylie Jenner ain't even a Kardashian. They ain't even Kardashians. So Black China was smart. Black China moved smart. A woman who, at the end of the day, she said, yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and do money over skin tone. Look, Black China, she might have said, I like Black Dick, but Black Dick can't do what the Kardashian name can do for me, though. Yeah, in Brooklyn, they're probably mad because spiritually they can't do nothing. If they ain't put nothing on her, then they must not be able to. They must not be able to. Black China might have a lot of protection that they can't get through spiritually. Because that mama, she probably tried. Yep, you pay debt in the spiritual world. Yep. You can't just go put no work on anybody. You can't just put work on anybody. And if people would study these things and at least read a book or two, I mean, I read, I think, 2 books when I was trying to get into it. And from what I've learned in those books, you should be checking a lot of stuff spiritually before you try to put some work on people. And it won't even necessarily be in the spiritual world, Brooklyn. It'll be in the spiritual world and in the physical world. You don't get to go out and just do magic on people. I like their daddy, Robert Senior Kardashian. Donna Dash said, and they would have still been together if they didn't force Robert to break it off with her. Yeah, he wanted her. He wanted her, and he probably still do. But y'all, I'm about to get off of here. I am. I actually need to take some back to Sephora. And I'm hoping that I can y'all, I bought some Fenty makeup. I think I did it during like the Black Friday sales or something, which I still should be able to take it back. They usually extend that, but I need to take it back. Yeah, karmic debt is real. It is real. I'm pretty sure they don't like the fact that Robert Kardashian is attracted to Black women in general. They probably don't like that at all. Which I'm telling y'all, women of no color don't really like Black women being with white men. Don't think that they sitting up there like, oh, okay, well, Black women are just with white men. No, they cool now because it ain't no high rate. But if more Black women were willing, oh, you would see white women pulling every type of nick and lice egg out they scalp if they saw y'all with a whole bunch of white men. Absolutely not. And to white women, if they gonna let you date white men, they might as well just change positions with you, basically. No, white women want to be able to run through Black men and get praised by Black men and have white men. And white men said, bitch, you wish. That ain't your story. Because they said once you slum over there with those bandits, you got to stay over there, girl. Bye. Black women can do it, though. Anyway, y'all, I'm getting off. I will see y'all on Monday in a recorded video. I'm going to go live on YouTube. I'll let y'all know. We might go live on YouTube on Monday. We might. I'm going to put a poll up. I'm going to see if y'all want to. I'm going to see if y'all want to. Because if y'all want to, we can go stir up some dust on YouTube live on Monday. If y'all prefer that if y'all prefer the YouTube live to a recorded video, I'll put a poll there. And if y'all want to go play in dust on live on YouTube, we'll go play in dust. Kardashians blackface so much that they family about to really be black. Yeah. Too Pretty Red Dime says, Sin is correct. My cousin, dirty ass Becky wife, was salty AF. I said, I'm done with black men. I'm off to white and mixed and white Asian men. Yeah, white women can't do that. Once they been with a black man, no other male group want them. But they expect you as a black woman to be with a black man. So they'll still take you. They don't, you ain't ostracized because you been with black men. She is, though. Yeah, Alani J, we're going to talk more about this stuff too, publicly. We are. Actually, I think I'm going to leave some of these heavy discussions for public unless y'all want them on Patreon, because y'all get to choose. Y'all get to choose the content. You get to choose whether we do some topic like this on Patreon or YouTube. That's up to y'all. So I will... I'll drop a poll and y'all can let me know if y'all want to play in dust on YouTube or if y'all want to just keep it on Patreon. But I'm about to run these errands and then write and then lay down and make sure I still ain't getting sick. I need to make sure I took my vitamins. Y'all, last time I took my sea moss, black seed oil, and burdock root vitamins. I took some Theraflu. I took some nasal spray and I said, let me just go to sleep and knock this out. So now I'm feeling much, much better, but I'm gonna keep taking them. And yeah, I'll let y'all, I'll post the poll on there. You said you can put them on YouTube. We'll see, because we might go play in dust and ruffle some feathers on YouTube. We might go do that. That might be fun. But we'll see. Y'all have a good rest of your Saturday, and I'll see y'all on Monday.